So Jennifer, you can write down, hard resources that you know we have for elementary, write those things down. Leslie, you can work on what you know that we have for high school, right?
Yeah, I just copied it.
Oh, yes, okay. If you guys don't think you need 5 minutes, tell me that too, and we'll start back up. I know, because we started this discussion yesterday.
So this is the full?
Yes, yeah, let's not have the good discussions till we turn that film on, but are you ready? You wanna turn it on, or do you wanna look on?
I mean, I'm ready to go. but-
Jennifer, you ready?
I was not at the meeting yesterday,
Okay,
so I haven't had.
well, we didn't have a meeting yesterday.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
No, we did have a meeting, but we didn't discuss
No,
this in that
yeah.
meeting. You're not involved in
Okay.
that. Yeah, we
Okay,
didn't give
that's
this to
fine.
teachers.
That's fine then.
I mean, we discussed curriculum a little bit, yes, but we didn't discuss the survey, you're right. So we'll give you a few more minutes. I'm gonna check emails, so you tell me when you're ready, Jennifer.
I'm ready, I'm fine.
Okay. All right, you ready, sir? Okay.
You ready?
All right, everybody ready? We'll just start going through, brainstorm back and forth, and we'll see what we come up with.
Can I start off with this, cause I know the teachers are not gonna do this.
Yes, I wrote my notes on it too.
Sorry.
So
Yeah, no, I agree. As soon as I
I
saw
don't
it, I
have
was like,
time to sit there and say, why am I not using it?
If we-
It's just,
if we put a checklist, like, is the reason why technology,
yes,
training,
didn't even know we had it.
no password.
No password.
So if we gave them an option of a checklist, would that be better?
Yes,
Yes, absolutely.
And would that be easier for her to gather the data?
yes, because this is not gonna be a valid response right here, cause they're
gonna say no time.
I don't have
Okay.
time for that.
So that's where she's saying, if you do not use the focus group tool, please provide a brief explanation. So we don't wanna leave anything for them to have to
No.
explain, we want them to just be able
yeah,
to
and
click.
a lot of this doesn't even apply to the elementary, so. I mean, it's like, oh, well, if you hit NA, does the second part not come up?
So that's a good question.
There are items on here I wouldn't expect every teacher to use.
Yeah.
But the question's worded in the effect that it makes it seem like they should be.
They have
using
to,
it.
yeah, and I have to answer it even,
Right.
Yeah, yeah. exactly.
So how could we reword
Why
the
aren't
resource
teachers-
usage? Or how do we wanna reword that towards more teacher friendly, not the gotcha that,
The resource usage right there, where you do the fill-ins, I don't think is so much of an issue. I think it's missing quite a few things. And these pieces on here, looking at them, the majority of them are all online tools, or they're all Loney's tools.
yes,
Regardless, but those aren't the curriculum pieces that we've been looking for.
Mm-mm.
The curriculum issues we've been talking about are
Text-
what we need, textbooks, resources, and they differ at each campus.
right.
So looking on here, I'm sure there's pieces that Leslie has over here, that we have at the elementary, that aren't on there, period.
Mm-mm.
And so
Okay.
how are we gonna make that difference and where we need to meet as a district?
Okay,
And I think if you don't want the gotcha feeling, if you take off the campus, cause it doesn't matter, unless you're gonna differentiate and say, okay, this campus has this and this campus has that, and
Well,
you're gonna get a more
we didn't wanna
valid
do that.
response.
that was the
But
goal of
that's
that.
not here.
No, it's not. It's
Well,
not.
but
You're right,
this
you're
is
right.
gonna click them up where she can pull all of Northwest Campus and then pull all of theirs together.
Right, so when we add the additional, the
The
things
additional,
that
yes.
each of us have, so like I put on there journeys, but you don't have journeys
Okay.
here, you put your textbook here, then they can sort that out.
Yes,
and say,
okay.
So we know where to allot the money.
Yes.
For either, technology resources or hard copy
Okay.
resources.
But that doesn't,
No.
if she were to send
Not
this
on
out,
here.
it's not gonna be
No.
what we want it to be.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly, and that's what we don't want is a waste of time. 'Cause
Right, it wouldn't be helpful to those that are trying to develop the curriculum.
Yeah.
Or try to move forward. One issue that I really see is do you have this, yes or no? If you don't, why? But not, I use this, but here are some of the gaps or some of the pieces that I'm missing. This program would be more effective if I had, it's like, there's no way to, state that. Like, for example, and I don't know that C-scope is necessarily one that you want to choose, but that's one that I'm somewhat
Right,
familiar
right,
with.
right.
But with C-scope, all the resources that they tell you that you should
The
utilize,
consumables
the
that go with it.
consumables or whatnot to present that lesson, there's nowhere to state, okay, I'd like to use C-scope, but I don't have any of this stuff.
Yes, so here it's like a yes or a no, but it doesn't give us anywhere to get the variance or the different
Right.
levels of how we
Right.
use it, why or why not.
And instead
It's
of
not-
Teaks resource systems, I would put C-scope in then like parentheses,
Curriculum.
because
Yeah.
so, like, I still call it C-scope, so when I look at it, I'm like, Teaks, oh yeah, that's C-scope, but when you're clicking and you're trying to go fast, cause that's what they're gonna do, they're gonna be like, I don't know what that is, but if you say C-scope, they'll,
And those
Yes,
are two different resources, even at that we use as a district. The TEACS resource system is not the same as
As
the
the C-
resources we downloaded
yes,
from them.
no, exactly, we
So-
did this
Oh, yeah.
You
yesterday.
can't even say that explanation on here, so.
Okay, so there's a lot that we're talking about, okay. On our other campuses, I think they felt pretty comfortable with it, but I don't think they've gone as in-depth as we have right now. So you brought up a lot of good points.
I agree with her that there's a lot of the stuff that we are using, but the teachers might not be using it to the same depth. And
Yes.
there needs to be some sort of feedback option where the teacher can put in their input to make it accessible across the district. So
Right.
we can see what levels are we using it, at what grades, and where can it be increased, where do we not need it.
Right, so what I'm gonna do then, from what I'm hearing you, is I'm gonna take back to District Today, because we're supposed to give a report today on this and some other stuff on curriculum. And I'm gonna tell them that I decided to take it to the ground level first, because many times from the principals, when you look at it at first glance, we're like, okay, great, this is what we need. But we're not the ones who are using the resources on a daily basis. Lonnie was just asked to help us to pull something together because she volunteered, because she's so good with data and because of the time. So I'm sure she would also appreciate the help, so maybe this is a good academic dean
Yeah.
meeting and project.
and we haven't
So-
had an academic dean meeting all year.
Okay, so,
Just
so that
one
would be-
academic dean meeting.
Yes, so, are y'all comfortable with that, with me, suggesting that?
Absolutely.
And that way it makes it more user-friendly and appropriate for what we're getting at.
Actually, that'd be a better idea. Y'all developed the survey. I mean,
Well, yes, and
Or give, or at least
Or
give
give
Lonnie
her how
the.
to-
well, Lonnie was
Yeah.
already nervous about,
Oh, I'm sorry.
we wanted to have this done by the 31st, because it's already March, right?
Right.
And we're testing, so for her, that's a huge
Yeah,
thing
it is.
on her plate, but as principals, we're not good with developing surveys and
Mhm.
the data. So if you guys wanna take this on, we will discuss that today, and I'm sure it will probably be,
We can do that.
you know what I mean, it would probably be,
Let's do that.
beneficial for
Yeah.
everybody involved.
Chris and I will go have a coffee and get it done.
Yes, and, get off campus and get that done, okay, alright, so if the other academic deans on the other campuses are tied up, because of whatever's going on as well, because all our schedules are different and all our needs are different, then I can volunteer you two to get it going, and then we have math science side, and we have ELA and social studies side pretty good covered. Okay, alright, so that piece,
We do need their help on that end though, from the
Yeah.
resources they have.
They have.
yes,
Because that's, if we're trying to unite and align across the district, then we need to have shared resources.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's- Especially if we're gonna develop a curriculum that's set out for the district.
no, I agree totally.
They can have options on delivery and how they wanna go, but
Mhm.
we need to know what's there and what's available.
Yes, no, I agree totally, and that may even mean if I need to free you guys up to go do a sit-down with them, because they get too busy and it's hard to get to the emails and those things, that we can do a sit-down and talk that through as well. Okay, so we can do both of those pieces, so I'll work on that part. Now, the other part of curriculum, which is the second part of this piece that Dr. Short wanted us to do, was report back on the C-scope usage
Mhm.
on the campuses. So yesterday, I was a little bit surprised at the meeting, with what a few of them said. So give me your take on how that went yesterday, because we didn't talk about it in depth, we just asked them in the meeting.
Well, I do believe it's being looked at. In other words, I believe it's being pulled from as far as lesson guides, but lesson planning doesn't indicate that C-scope is heavily used. The year-to-glance, and the IFDs are being used for lesson planning, but the resources, they do appear to be minimally pulled from. I haven't seen, with the exception of us, I've seen a few that you've used from C-scope, but I think they're pulling from other resources.